Deuce. Do what they know. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know.
Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, it's my favorite show. Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings. Big hopes and dreams as we cover our kings. Never cover the kingdom, but we loving our kings. And we covered your prayers as we doing our thing. Big Deuce with the par, Lil Mo on the screen. Solo or together, still do it for team. Never switch up for $1 or revenue stream. So we always got each other, balance out the beam. Deuce and Mo, and that's the end of the theme song. Do it for Deuce and Mo.
We are live!
Do it for Deuce.
I don't know if we are.
When it comes to the Kings, it's my favorite show.
You guys can hear us. All right, that's good.
Oh my God.
If you guys only knew. I tested everything today. Everything was working nice and smooth. So who knows? Is it echoing? How's it sound?
Deuce. Hey, Morgan.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for y'all.
Yeah, but how about those Kings? Do you root for them?
Let's go, Kings.
Okay, good. Sounds good. Sounds great. Okay. I don't know. Maybe it's as simple as that. You live and you learn.
You live and you learn.
Deuce Mace alongside Morgan Reagan. If we have some gremlins tonight, just buckle up. It's approaching the end of the preseason. I tell you, by opening night, it's going to be smooth sailing, baby. Oh, what a preseason game, by the way. I mean, we were just talking about the other day. I can't wait for preseason to end, but I still feel that way. But let's not get it twisted. Today was an entertaining game.
Entertaining, emotional, all of the things.
My goodness.
Yep.
How are you doing tonight?
Well, I'm fine. I mean, I was good. I don't know. I feel like I've been on a roller coaster, and then just like it's quite frustrating.
Yeah.
When there has just been so many consistent like audio issues lately.
Yeah, I mean,
you just want to like punch
something
something when it happens, and
Sure.
then there's like nothing to punch. So yeah, that's how I feel in the moment. But then if I take a step back and how I felt about 20 minutes ago, I felt annoyed about the game, but like entertained, you know? So it was like, which is a good thing.
Yes.
If you're feeling that in the preseason, that's a good thing.
Yeah, both teams, like, they're playing their guys at the end. You know, the Warriors broadcast, like, at one point, like, they're putting Sabonis back in. Up that bad. I just can't believe it. And then what do you know? Steph comes back in. Chris Paul. Like, they're going for it. Both teams going into the game were like, we're playing our guys some heavy minutes.
Yeah.
We're playing over 30 minutes. And I'm looking up and down. And, yeah, a lot of guys played 30. I mean, hell, Sabonis, they ended up playing 34. Keegan played almost 36 tonight.
Wild. Yeah. And that's what else makes it so fun is that there's just there's actual stuff to break down because a lot of their guys were in for both teams for a lot of the game.
Yeah. How's everybody doing in the chat tonight? If you have not yet, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed. I'm seeing people hop in here. All that does is help our channel grow. It's not to boost my ego or Morgan's huge ego or anything like that. It's literally just to help the channel grow.
You've said that twice.
About your ego?
Yeah, in the last month. And I find that very very strange. That
I don't think that's true.
I feel like you're projecting whatever the shit is going on with you. But
what do you mean what's going on with me?
I feel like it's a mean comment.
It's just a joke. Maybe I'm going at you a little bit, you know?
You are you definitely
It's fun.
don't like it. It's fun for one person, one side.
Come at me a bit, you know?
I'm good. I'm good. Unless, I mean, you do make it easy for the most part, but I'm good.
All we needed was Huerter to hit some free throws. Well, I mean, Sarge missed 2 as well. I mean, before we start the podcast, I may even say this on the podcast too once we record. Yeah, I don't know. Did you hear that? The
Yeah.
echo? See?
Yeah,
That's so weird. That's like the computer echo.
Okay.
Whoa, that sounds kind of cool though, you know? Some reverb. I don't feel like our intro is going to work out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out.
Anyway, I feel like there's some people who just started watching preseason basketball this year. And look, I get it. The Kings have been bad the
great.
last 16, 17 years,
Yeah.
right? This is the first year that they were good. So it all makes sense. But the amount of people I'm like freaking out about things, like losing their minds.
Are you talking about Kings fans, though?
Yes.
Oh, got it.
I'm seeing on social media my mentions, and there's some fair questions like by people, but like
love
some of
fair
the
questions.
over the top like comments. They're 0-4. What? Oh, so what do you in the preseason? Like our Discord, I've even said to them, I don't know if our Discord is going to be around December.
Here's my thing.
I'm like this
'Cause
close
when
to
when you just talked about like people freaking out their own for or whatever, I'm like, it is their space. It is a public space. They're allowed to do that. When it's our Discord,
Yeah.
what upsets me is because I feel like our community, we have mostly very smart basketball fans. And when it goes to like shitty criticism and like toxic criticism,
Yeah.
instead of being like basketball
Yes.
breakdown, kind of like criticize, talk your shit, do what you need to do. But like when it gets just toxic and negative, it's like, what? We
Wait, what's
created
the
our
fun?
Discord
Yeah,
for
what's-
fun basketball people. So
where's the fun?
be fun in there.
No, the
I'll
thing
come
that
in
I
there.
love though is like, so the Kings are 0-4 in the preseason. They went 6-2 during the preseason in 2012-13.
Okay.
I remember that because I had 6-2,
I
right?
remember that. Wow.
You know how many wins they had that year?
That's when I met you. Yeah, go on.
28. They were 6-2 in the preseason and won 28 games. It does not matter.
It
doesn't matter. And
It
it
doesn't matter.
also rewind to last year. Preseason didn't matter either. When they were undefeated last year, it didn't matter. Like you have to go do it.
Doesn't
Well,
matter.
hey, they went what 4-0 in the preseason last year.
Yeah.
And how'd they start?
0-4.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Wah, wah, wah.
Anyway, let's all take a deep breath. Let's have some fun. There's a lot of good today, some bad as well. It's the preseason. Deuce and Mo. Let's see if this works. Coming down 3, 2, 1. Hit my music.
Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.
Hey, welcome into the Deuce and Mo podcast. Recording this on a Wednesday night after the Sacramento Kings fell to 0-4 in the preseason, losing to the Warriors in back-to-back games. This time in San Francisco, 116-115, and Steph Curry did it again. We have a lot of ground to cover. I'm Deuce Mason. That's Morgan Reagan. Each and every one of our podcasts presented by our friends over at Northwest Exteriors. Check out their website, trustnorthwest.com. Morgan Reagan, how you doing?
Well, I'm doing great now because I just realized one thing. We're wearing the same shirt.
And we shouldn't because the Kings lost and we're wearing shut up and light the beam shirts. That's what we want. Just shut up and light the beam already.
Oh yeah, we look so stupid. This is great. We look stupider and stupider as the moments go by. I'm good. I'm good because I enjoyed preseason basketball tonight. Kings preseason basketball tonight. NBA preseason basketball tonight. I mean, because no matter how you feel about the Golden State Warriors, shit, when Steph Curry just like banks a three and then hits a game winner and does all these things, you're like, I hate you, but I respect you.
Dude, some of the shots he makes, even late. I'm going, that bank three, the Kings made him work. He just kept moving, banks it in. And you go, what a lucky shot. And you're like, no, like Steph Curry does that. That's not lucky. That's just skill. Yeah. And then even the shot he had that proved to be the game winner, De'Aaron Fox played really good defense on Steph Curry on that final possession.
I watched it like 4 different times. And
how?
Other people were like, oh, you should have doubled him, blah, blah. And I'm going in my head, but then you still had Clay on the floor. You still had CP3. Like, there were still options. But yes, Steph Curry is not human. We understand. But you're right. The fastest player on the basketball floor was actively moving his hands, moving his feet, and then Steph just does what he does. Got that one extra step on him to create that space and jack it up from wherever the hell he wants on the floor.
I knew Morgan was into this game tonight because my phone was blowing up, and she's heated. Heated. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm very much like, it's the preseason. I, of course, wanted the Kings to just close things out tonight. I just want to see how they close. We'll go over that, too. But Morgan is blowing up my phone saying, Steph was out of bounds. He's clearly out of bounds. The officials.
Sent him photos.
Oh my God. I'm like,
the momentum of his body and then the angle of his body with the line going straight. It's like, and the ball is touching him. I'm like, that is out of bounds. But I understand that the video does not show evidence that he is out of bounds, even though it's like I told Deuce, I'm like, science, common sense, momentum, going out of bounds. But I get it. You go to replay to see the video, and the video does not show it. But common sense would be like, yeah, no shit, half his body, his ass is on the line. Like, if you're on the line, you're out of bounds. To me, it's got to be clear and yes, and it wasn't in the videos.
When I was watching, I'm like, yeah, I hear what you're saying. And you might be right, but they can't overturn that.
100%.
Right? They can't overturn it.
No, it was the right call.
Yeah, so much to go over from this game, and there's a lot of good stuff. Where do we start? Do you want to start with like what happened at the end of the game? Do we want to start with specific players? You tell me. Starting
at the end of the game, because I just think going from there, working our way back with specific players, that will be fun.
I think the one thing that made tonight fun is both coaches were playing their guys. They used tonight more as a dress rehearsal. Of course, the Warriors still kind of banged up. They also didn't have Kevon Looney in this game tonight. Draymond is out still, so he did not play. The Kings were without Trey Lyles tonight. He missed the game with like a calf issue, so he did not play, but everybody else was good to go for the Sacramento Kings. And both coaches were like, yeah, we're going to play our guys in the 30-plus minutes, and that happened in this game. And it was a close game at the end. It was insane. Where do you want to start with this fourth quarter, then?
Okay.
Because I have some stuff.
Do you want to start at the beginning of the fourth, or do you want to start at the end?
Well, let's talk about how they defended Steph, because I feel like that's a topic that's
a
very
broad
interesting,
enough topic,
right?
Yeah.
And it's one that there's people in my mentions about, and it's a fair thing to bring up. You know, Kevin Huerter was defending Steph a lot of the fourth.
Yep.
Now, not every possession. There were possessions where Fox was on him. Mitchell got some time. In fact, at one point, he brought Colby Jones in for a quick second, to check Steph. I'm so curious as to why Brown went with that. And if it was a regular season game, I'd be like,
what are you doing?
What the hell are you doing? And I'm like, did he do that tonight because it's like, hey, I've challenged you to be physical. I've challenged you to get in the guys. And if you're going to be a part of what we're doing, especially as a starter, you're going to have to take on some tough challenges. It's a preseason. Go deal with Steph. Was that part of it, or did he think that was the best matchup?
No. If that was the case, let's just say if that was the case, because there's no way in his mind that he thought that was the best matchup. But I like the theory that you have, and let's just go with that theory. And let's say he was like, all right, here you go, Kevin Huerter. Here is your challenge, Steph Curry. What can you do against him in this preseason game? Steph felt very confident going into Kevin Huerter in every way. It was like, it's like when you saw Colby Jones out there, and it was like, I think Clay wanted to go at him. You know, everyone wants to go after a rookie. It's the same thing when you have the weakest link on the defensive end, and that is Kevin Huerter at times. And at the end of this game, especially when it came to Steph Curry going at him, yeah, that was why he was going at him. But Mike Brown's, maybe his philosophy in that situation was to just be like, you have to be better, almost showing him like, you even if you can't stop him, you have to slow him down. De'Aaron Fox, one of your better defenders on this squad, couldn't even stop him from making that last three. But you got to find ways to slow him down, especially if he keeps coming after you.
Yeah. So that was the one thing from late in the game where it's like, okay, Steph's cooking now. And not only are you not putting like Fox on him, you're not putting like Mitchell on him.
Yeah.
Was that purposeful? And he did make and the reason I brought it up because yesterday at practice, you know, he was asked about different lineups and what they're doing in the preseason. And he says, everything I'm doing has a purpose in the preseason.
Yeah.
So I'm going,
I believe it.
okay, was that purposeful? I'm just trying to understand it, because if you're drawing up all right, fourth quarter, Steph, it's a close game. What do we do? You probably don't go with Kevin Huerter in that situation on him. So that's where I left going, that's really interesting.
Yeah, and it's no knock on him. I think it's more just like you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like, can you be a better defender late in games, even if it is Steph Curry, even if whoever the hell it is, because people are going to come after you. So what are you going to do to step up your game and challenge yourself to be a better defender?
Man, Steph's ability to create just enough space on that final possession too from Fox and buried that shot. What happened after was interesting too, because the ball kind of ricocheted, and then so the Kings weren't able to get the ball out quick. And, you know, there's like 5 seconds to go in the game, and then Fox tried to shoot a three to win it.
Yeah,
I want to see him attack, man. But again, it's preseason. He's going, I'm going to go get that shot up. There's another play, too, where I felt like, Fox could have tried to take it, but he dished to the corner to Davion for three.
Okay.
And I think
yep.
What I liked about that one, because on the surface you go, why would you kick it to Davion? He's not a three-point shooter. Well, Davion was knocking down threes tonight. Mm-hmm. It's preseason. You're trying to build the guy's confidence up.
Yep.
Dish it to an open shooter in the corner.
Yeah.
Not a bad play.
He's not throwing it to a big in the corner. That, you know, he's throwing it to someone who has actually taken a leap and, just like you said, has had a better offensive game, especially tonight. But yeah, there's a few times I think De'Aaron Fox, like, as Mike Brown would put it, had some hezzies. And not only just with his shooting, but even when he was going to the rim, it's like he had that jump shot right away in moments, because he gets guys just going back on their heels. He makes so many defenses collapse. Like, they don't come up on him all the time. If anything, they respect and give him that space. And so then sometimes he has that mid-range shot. I felt like he had a few more of those tonight he could have taken. But again, we're talking preseason. We're talking about trying to get everyone involved. And yeah, I was fine with it.
De'Aaron Fox looked fun tonight. He finished the game with 25 points. He had 7 rebounds, 9 of 21 shooting. He ended up 0 of 5 from downtown, but 7 of 8 from the free throw line, and played just under 32 minutes. His defensive intensity is, I know we did a video breakdown on this on YouTube that you could check out later if you want. He's elevated to another level right now. And he's still, at this point in time, bringing that same type of fire on the offensive end. So,
which is insane.
No, it is. And I just, look, I'm not trying to get so excited, but I just look at him, I go, dude, if he takes a step defensive, we're talking about a different level of player now, because he had a hell of a year last year as an all-NBA player, and now he is bringing it defensively. And it's not just defending opposing guards. It's, hey, he switched on the Clay, he switched on the Wiggins.
Yep. He's getting
Kuminga.
back down, and he's holding his ground.
Yep.
Deuce, and it's okay to get excited about it, because the thing that makes me mostly excited about his defense getting better, or I mean better, whatever, a different type of intensity, is that that tone, that physicality, that aggressiveness, he is setting that for his entire team. He is setting a standard and everyone's going to keep following. He sets the speed. Everyone's got to keep up as much as they can. Right. And so I just love the way that it's a preseason game and all the way through, he is staying active with his hands. He's getting up and guys. And like you said, holding his ground with some of the bigger guys.
Yeah. He was a lot of fun in this
Love
game tonight.
it.
And I'm excited about the season for him because I think he could have a big impact. And I do think the Kings have had better moments defensively where you see the glimpses of like, okay, I think they could be an average defensive team. There are still going to be issues when you have a starting lineup that features, Huerter and, to a certain extent, Harrison Barnes, who has some difficult matchups out there at times. And I think that could hold you back at times from reaching that. But I think Keegan's even looked better defensively in the preseason. Sabonis, I think, has done really well in pick and roll coverage. The Kings definitely had some defensive breakdowns tonight, especially in that fourth quarter. I think Warriors scored 40 points. And that's like one area where you're like, God, can you... It's stringing together more of these defensive moments. And when they matter most, crunch time, when the game gets close, can you get stops? Of course, tonight, when Steph is doing Steph, it's tough.
Yeah, but but preseason or not, it's about getting that together quick. And that's why Mike Brown has been talking about physicality and pounding that into their minds all training camp, all preseason long, because he wants it to start now. He doesn't want it to start and like everyone get the gist of it when the regular season starts. He wants that to be their identity right away. And, it's just like anything. It has to still grow together. And I think the bringing it back, running it back with this squad, having a lot of that continuity, it's definitely going to help. But you do have those new pieces with JaVale McGee, Sasha, Colby, even Chris Duarte, who's obviously hurt right now. But
I forgot to mention he didn't play tonight, obviously.
Yeah.
That was my bad. He's obviously missing the next two games. So
yeah. So, and by the way, even going off that, because obviously Kevin Huerter started tonight.
I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. He missed tonight and missing the final preseason game tomorrow.
There we go. Kevin Huerter started the game tonight, and at practice the other day, Mike Brown said, Chris knew he was going to start that last game that he did start, that he ended up getting hurt in, and Kevin knew he was going to start the next one. So Kevin's not starting just because Chris got hurt. So anyway, going back to the defense continuity and it just growing together, I think really stepping up their game with the physical play is going to help. But you're right. Like being able to find a way to stay on a string and really understand one another and really understanding Coach Brown's defensive philosophy.
This specific team is going to have a ceiling defensively based on personnel.
For sure.
That's just the reality of it, And so if you can have better moments, you hope that your offense can carry you a long way too. And just be improved. Last year, you're 24th in defensive rating. My push is, can you get the 15, man? Can you give me a little average defense, please?
I was just listening to an NBA podcast today, and I forget which one, and they were talking about how even in the postseason, they're like, it's crazy to say it, but sometimes like postseason's coming down to offensive basketball, where like offense is winning games, and you just wish for the Kings that they can find a way to improve defensively to get closer to what like the Denver Nuggets did, and they became the middle of the pack and had a good offense.
So we've talked about Steph being nasty. We talked a bit about De'Aaron Fox. We got a lot more topics to get to, but we need to give the people watching us live right now, over 500 people watching us live. Let's give you a hell yeah.
Give me a hell yeah.
Yeah.
If you have not yet, make sure to hit the thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed. That thumbs up the like button should be at like 250 by now.
250.
Minimum, bare minimum. All it does is help our channel grow. So help us out. We're doing Kings and NBA content all season long. When something happens, we got content on it. Morgan, the next guy we got to talk about tonight.
Say it.
Let me talk to you.
Yeah.
Keegan Murray.
My effing goodness.
Morgan Reagan, if there's one thing you're walking away with after tonight, besides nightmares from Steph Curry,
correct,
it's Keegan Murray.
Hell yeah.
Morgan, I know it's preseason.
I'm going to calm.
I know it's preseason, but Keegan Murray is doing things on the floor that he did not do last year.
No.
That he did not do at all last year. He's showing things that he didn't show in the California Classic when he was dropping 41 points today. And he did it again. And I was reminded of something too. I'm going to tell a little story time.
Oh, I love a good story time
Who's
about
ready
Keegan Murray.
for story time with Deuce Mason, baby? There's a lot of wrestling references tonight.
Yeah.
So, Keegan Murray.
Yeah, I know him.
Taking it strong to the basket early in this game with a two-hand jam with people under the basket.
Yes.
I think last Friday night, spending an hour watching NBA players on YouTube watch some of their old plays and watch other people's plays, okay? And Paul George was talking about a specific play where his his second year in the league, he had a nasty dunk for the Pacers. And he said, this was a big moment. He goes, I remember this specifically because one of my coaches, Brian Shaw, an assistant coach for the Pacers at the time, came up to him and said, you are 6'8" and you play like you're 6'2".
Oh, yes.
And Paul George said in his rookie year, he got blocked a lot attacking the rim.
Going soft. Yep.
Going soft.
Yep.
Keegan Murray, I mean, it seemed like he was getting blocked a lot every time he went to the basket last year. It's like, come on, man, you got to finish this. You're 6'8", 6'9". Go get it. Keegan's doing that this year.
Turned it on.
He's dunking now.
Yep.
And then you go, oh, that's cute. He drove and dunked to the basket. No. For those who didn't watch the game tonight, the guy's putting the ball on the floor. We're talking about turn around, 1 foot Dirk-esque jumpers. We're talking about hitting a three.
Effortless.
Putting the ball on the floor, finishing with the run. I mean,
Dude, wait,
he
really
did
quick.
so many amazing things
and when
offensively out there.
When he's putting the ball on the floor, it's how he's curling off things. He's like leading himself with the dribble. He is pounding the basketball with authority. Like every little thing he is doing right. And it's just so enjoyable to watch because not only is it going to lead to success, but that is the sexy ass basketball that I love to watch. So fun.
He had 24 points in this game.
Yes.
He had 8 rebounds in this game. He had 2 steals. He had 2 assists. He did it on 10 of 18 shooting, 3 of 9 from 3. I love the fact he was aggressive. He was looking for his shot. He took 9 threes, only made 3. It's not like, oh, Keegan had 24 and he had 8 threes.
Yeah.
Like he was doing other things out there. And if he's able to bring that into the regular season, the Kings are going to be nasty.
I mean,
he's showing to have that level, a guy his size he's bringing the ball up the floor. I'm like, I'm sorry, is that Jason Tatum? What's happening right now?
Calm.
Morgan, I'm just saying.
Calm.
He
I
is
know we're getting excited, but calm.
He is trending in such a positive
That's
direction.
fair. That's fine. But calm.
I just, there's certain things you just watch and you go, and I think most NBA fans, okay, I know we have other fans besides Kings fans who watch us. If you watch Keegan Murray's highlights tonight, you went, oh, yeah, he's gonna have a breakout year. Like, I have no doubt in my mind that he has a different mentality this year. It's showing the skill, the shooting. He's going to be really good.
I heard something on the broadcast at one point. They were talking about like, oh, Keegan Murray isn't that athletic. This is what you got to do. Like he does this or you got to go at him like this. And I'm like, no. Don't be confused. Just because of his like slothy like demeanor when it comes to the way he communicates or anything, the way that he plays on.
I don't know what you mean. Like what?
Thank you for slowing it down. And there's athleticism in just the way that he can elevate and hold himself in the air and get to the basket and be above people. I mean, the way that he can move laterally and knows and understands how to utilize his body size. Yes, there's athleticism built in there.
It's exciting, man.
Yes.
It's really exciting.
I am very excited. I don't think we're getting too excited about him. I think it's just like you said, if you are a basketball fan out there, go watch some Keegan Murray highlights. I mean, this shit is just going to get more and more fun. And I think one of the funnest things about it, he has one of those mentalities where you tell him one thing, you're running a drill practice, you tell him one thing and you go, hey, can you be here instead of here? He makes that change right away. Like he wants to make that change. He wants to get better instantly. And I think that's what's been so fun about his growth because it's happening so quick.
Yeah. And
I know.
What's his ceiling? Like I'm not just saying you have to answer the question. It's more of like a, hey, think about it. I mean, the guy is showing signs that he could be a really special offensive player, and I think he's improved defensively now. Like there were still a couple of times tonight that Wiggins bodied him, and I'm like, okay, like
Wiggins is good,
No,
and Wiggins has been in the
Wiggins
league.
is really good. He is, and but my point is like he's gotten stronger.
Yep.
And he's got to make sure to keep playing with that physicality. And I've seen more moments of that. I mean, last year there's zero doubt in my mind that last year was probably one of the best things that could happen to the guy. I mean, to be on a winning team, to start and play 30 minutes a night on a winning team, that he was a lottery pick.
That he got to be part of building that culture with too.
They didn't ask the world out of him. They said, hey, just hit some open shots, man. Right? Hit some open shots and try to use your size, and we'll guide you along the way. And he had some up and down moments like any rookie would in the NBA. But it's just exciting to see the stuff that's been talked about with his game. We've seen the glimpses in the California Classic and in the preseason. Then you saw it again tonight, and you're like, oh, this shit looks real.
I'm excited. Yeah, I don't know whoever their strength and conditioning team is doing a fantastic job, because I don't know how. Even Domas Sabonis looks stronger tonight. The way that he was just like down low, pounding through guys. Really not. Of course, there was the Warriors bench who was like, he's lowering that shoulder. He's lowering that shoulder. And I'm like trying to make sure that I'm not being biased. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but I felt like he was just using his muscle and his strength to really use his body, power through at times.
It wasn't his best shooting night. He ends up 4 of 10 in this game, but 12 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists for him. I felt like, especially early, man, he was getting out, and he looks faster to me too. I think he's moving better defensively.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Strength and conditioning with him is what I was noticing.
I agree with that. And there's always people are going to make, well, he can't block shots. I'm like, I mean, unless we could figure out a way. Look, can we have some surgery, like
you can,
to extend his arms?
You probably can. I know you can do legs.
Give Sabonis a 7'4" wingspan, it's over.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's 6'11". And it's what it is. And sorry.
Oh, man.
And that's put you in a tough spot defensively at times.
Sure
but
does.
he does a lot. I think he had a play tonight where he went straight up.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And
vertical. Yep.
You know, he's trying to take charges. He took one. He got called for a block. But it's like, that's what look, you're not going to be a shot blocker. You're not that long. But what can you do? Be vertical, take some charges, rebound well. That will help your team, and be in the right spot and pick and rolls. Don't get toasted. Yeah,
and like we've already talked about and heard from Mike Brown and a lot of the other players at practice about the offensive changes in this preseason, they're not running all the things that they're used to running, right? Like whether it's less DHOs, whether it's less plays.
I think they did more of that tonight, but yes.
They did, but I'm also curious if that has taken Sabonis a little bit out of his own flow as like the offensive hub and them running so many things out of him. If not, we'll see as we get to the regular season. You talked about his rebounding too. Not only do I love his rebounding ability, I think what helped his teammates rebound, everyone was crashing the boards, right? I saw De'Aaron Fox get a little aggressive.
Fox had 7.
And I saw
Keegan had 8.
Yep.
Keegan was very noticeable.
So I saw those guys crashing and being a little bit more aggressive, but I think that's also because there had to be more attention on Sabonis getting rebounds. So, you know, the Warriors had to make sure they were putting their attention on him, which allowed other guys to crash. Loved it. Everyone coming together, being a little stronger.
They still need more. Like Barnes got to rebound better.
Yep.
Like you just can't. And that's the key this year, in my opinion. We can't be coming on after games talking about Harrison Barnes and Keegan combining for 6 rebounds in a game. Like that's Sabonis needs help.
Yep.
And you guys have to find a way to battle and get those. And, it's just It's not good enough to have 3 rebounds when you're playing 30 minutes a night.
King Louie on our chat said, but Domas is already setting one of, if not the best screens in the league.
Yep.
It's him or Steven Adams. Yeah, when you have that body like that and you're strong, you're able to really keep your base down, not have to rely on popping out your hip or trying to do some cheap thing with your leg, and you're a brick wall.
So in this game tonight, sorry, I was thinking. I didn't realize you were done. My bad.
Okay.
I was
That's
thinking
okay.
about where we're going next. That's where I want to go to next.
Where?
The next player. How about the rookie Colby Jones?
Oh, love it. Ready to talk about him.
Colby Jones, I think, is really starting to gain the trust of Mike Brown.
Yeah, he is,
And-
because he saw a few more moments tonight.
Now, part of this too is like the rotation kind of got jumbled up a little bit, right? Duarte, who has started here in the preseason at times. If Duarte was healthy, you imagine he's playing, right?
Sure.
If Trey Lyles is healthy, is he playing tonight?
Sure.
I would think he's playing ahead of Sasha. That's my gut right now.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know what Jones's role is right this second, but what I can tell you is when you get a chance, you go out there and play. And this rookie, because of the experience he had playing multiple years in college, you could tell it just helped him so much. His feel for the game.
That's it.
I love his size. I mean, one of the first things he did when he came to the game today was drive, nice bounce pass to his teammate inside. And like he sent guys up. The question about him is, all right, can you hit the three consistently? Well, he knocked down some threes tonight, and that was a huge sign because he'll get some open looks. But I just think he's got the strength. He's got the size at 6'5", 6'6", decent wingspan that he could defend a little bit. And he'll attack the rim, has a nice floater offensively. He just looks polished to me. He looks NBA ready, like he could help a team now.
Yes, and that's mostly because of his feel and his confidence when he is being put out there on the floor. And again, I think that part too goes to giving credit to even Monty McNair, getting another guy on the squad that just has the right mindset. He looks like he not only understands the game at a high level, but is willing to be open to learning new things quick. And already at times, whether it's in help defense or where he should be on the floor, I notice that he's in the right spot. Moving laterally with guys, he's just got some strong ass legs. He's capable of doing that. He's young, he's athletic. And then you said it, I think even the other night, you're like, man, if he could just knock down some shots. And so seeing some fall tonight, it's nice to know that, like, as things can keep going. Is it how many?
He had 10 points,
Nice.
4 of 8 shooting. He knocked down 2 of 5 from downtown. So it's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
There you go. But no, I'm with you. I enjoy seeing those little moments with him, and especially if he's going to get these opportunities, because we know how the NBA season goes. Not everyone stays healthy. There you go. You're going to see more minutes.
Yeah. And again, I think we've had this conversation multiple times now, and we'll probably dive in deeper maybe
Are you going
tomorrow
rotation?
night. More in this rotation. Good luck. And this is why like someone like Kevin Huerter has some more pressure on him this
For
year,
sure.
especially
For sure.
defensively. Because Kevin Huerter did so much for this team offensively this year. What a weapon in dribble handoffs. And even when he's not knocking down his three, I thought last year he did such a good job of getting inside and getting some nice looks in the mid-range.
Moving around without the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
basketball, still just being a threat from there. You have to pay attention to him.
But defensively is where his shortcomings are.
I know.
Right?
He's a
And
smart defender,
now
but
they feel like Chris Duarte? Well, look, you
Athletic.
can come in, you move well without the ball. The question with Duarte has been just durability, in my opinion. Can he stay healthy? He gets banged up. He's out right now. It's just bad luck. He banged knees, and that's what it is. But then you have someone like Colby Jones, who I think Colby can play some point guard for you if you need him.
Yeah.
He could play some off guard. Like, he's just a basketball player. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's going to push someone like Huerter a little bit. And as the Kings continue to try to build this out, because this roster is not a finished product, right? Like, it's just not. To me, there's another move to be made. Monty's always talked about optionality with the roster.
Yeah.
He has some potential to make some shifts here to help things.
yeah. And I think you even look at, like, we talked a little bit about him, but Davion Mitchell, adding that offense tonight, loved seeing that from him.
Yeah.
He took a charge later on in the game. You know how active and feisty he's going to be defensively. What?
Rob in our chat was mentioning this earlier, and it's so true. When Davion and Colby were out there together,
Yeah.
dude, those guys were flying around defensively. It was a lot of fun to watch.
That is fun. No, and it's hectic. It's chaotic for another team. It's great to have. And I think another guy I want to talk about coming off the bench was Malik Monk. He definitely didn't have like the most put together game tonight, especially with that.
He's been sloppy, man.
Dude, when
4 turnovers tonight.
GP2 on that sideline late in the game, when he was trying to get it to Fox, GP2's reaching over. I'm
That's a
not
technical.
passing it in. I'm telling the ref, I'm going, look at this
That was a bad miss by the official.
Yes, he's literally just hanging over like this. And Malik after he fouls him or whatever and gets to the free throw line, he's like, he's over the line. It's just something that I know the official should be noticing, but at the same time, if you're Malik Monk, shout that one out so you don't get in trouble for that. But besides that, I hope it can get cleaned up a little bit more, especially with him and JaVale McGee having some fun with that pick and roll. Just JaVale McGee being that lob threat.
McGee had a one moment where I'm like, oh, he just bobbled it out of bounds, just slipped out of his hands. But one of the funnest moments of the game when he had the block and it took off, and then Sasha found him for the jam. That was a lot of fun.
Oh my God, that was perfect.
So Davion, Sasha had some rough moments defensively, and there was a couple of times Mike Brown pulled him aside tonight, and it just. I've been very high on Sasha and what I think his potential is to help this team because of what he can do offensively. Defensively, it's just some of the mistakes he made tonight wasn't based on like, hey, he got beat. It was like, no, you're supposed to rotate here. Like you got to move here you can't allow that guy to hit an open shot.
I'm going to be honest of what I like.
Okay.
If I took a step back and was looking at his game right now in the NBA, I'm going, you're overthinking everything and the pace is too much for you. And when I say it's too much for you, doesn't mean that's going to be too much for him forever.
No.
It's too much for him right now. And he's got to pick it up a little quicker. How do you do that? Well, usually it takes more time to pick up your conditioning, right? And but that is mostly where it's going to be for him. He's going to have to find a way to get up and down the floor and understand how to make sure that he's utilizing his legs still when he's looking for his shot. Because him even missing some of those threes, I'm curious if it's just from like fatigue or a little bit more from that at least.
Well, they go hard. They go hard at practice and training camp, so that's possible. My gut tells me to start the season, I don't think he's going to be in the rotation.
Oh, you don't even think he's going to be in the rotation? Okay.
Well, we play the who's playing game.
Yeah.
Right? You got the starting five. Let's just say the starting five is the same five from last year.
Sure.
With Huerter in the mix. Monk's playing. Davion's playing. I think McGee's playing to start the season. Duarte.
Yeah.
If he's healthy. Okay. There's 9. And Lyles.
Yeah. No. I'm not saying you're wrong or anything. I think it just goes back to like thinking about media day, the start of training camp and everything, and the way that people talk about this man in his shooting. Just excited, not overhyping it. You get to see it for yourself and you're like, holy shit. And then you really notice the other aspects of his game not translating to the NBA quite yet. And you're going, oh, I get it. And you have a defensive-minded head coach that is like, that's cool. You can get me shots. 3 other guys can also get me shots. I need you to do better on the defensive end. We thought maybe his offense would be too good to not be in the rotation. But yeah, at this point right now, I'm feeling like, okay, I understand if he's not immediately in the rotation to start the season.
Brendan Nunez over at Sacktown Sports they were talking to Mike Brown post-game, and he had an interesting note. Brown said they were not going to play Trey Lyles at the 5 tonight, even if he would have been available. The Kings ended up, of course, playing Sabonis, McGee, and Alex Len got about 90 seconds in there.
Does that hurt your heart?
To me, it's one of those things to watch this year.
Yeah.
I have seen it. And, next time we talk to Mike, I'll ask him at practice or something, because I just want to understand. I feel like when Trey has been out there as a small ball 5
last season,
it's worked. It's worked. And so I'm just trying to understand why you wouldn't look for that.
And they went to that also because of limited options. But you're right.
Worked.
It worked.
It literally worked. And when he did it a couple times in the regular season, that was maybe forced to do it. But in the playoffs, it was a thing. And it worked really well. They don't win game 6 without Trey Lyles.
Sure.
In San Francisco. Like that. He was that big for them.
No, I get that.
And so I don't know. I think I understand you got McGee too, and maybe matchup dependent, but I just think Trey Lyles is such a weapon at a small ball 5. And I don't know.
Well, I think too, with someone like JaVale McGee, that's someone who we've talked about has matured his game, has cleaned up his game over the years, but that's still part of his game. Like, he still has those oopsie moments. And I think one big one, I text you about this, was when somebody was cutting back door and he was at the top of the key and he's not only staring at them, but through defenders, he's like trying to make a chest pass to them down by the basket, where I'm like, you got to give them the eye and give them like that strong overhead, or maybe even a little bit more of a lob if you see them down there open. But that, even that alone at this, like, those mistakes cannot happen. Like, every possession matters in this regular season, especially for a team that has a mediocre / not very good defense.
That's fair. No, I'm with you on that. And then tonight, the team ended up only having 13 turnovers, but the Warriors scored 20 points off those turnovers. On the flip side, Golden State had 22 turnovers. It only turned into 22 points. So the Warriors had literally 9 more turnovers, but you only had 2 more points off the turnovers than they did. That's pretty depressing.
Gotta capitalize. And I mean, there were times too when they were not in their early offense and they were in that half court offense. And maybe it's because of the changes that Mike Brown has made to this preseason training camp with their offense that it seemed slower or just not as free flowing and sexy at times. But again, preseason, hopefully that's not the case forever.
Can we take a second and acknowledge that the audio's been good?
Yeah. Honestly, hey, perspective.
I just needed to know.
like
We've
that.
had technical issues the last couple of, and I know today started with one, but I think that was more of an error by me.
Oh.
I think we're good. I think we're in a good spot from a technical standpoint. I swear, if it crashed right now,
And,
could you imagine? Could you imagine?
You would lose your shit and it would not be good.
Let's see. Mike Brown forced Kerr to bring the stars back in. All the Kings players, stars play regular season rotational minutes. Yeah, I mean, I think with the game went close, I think Kerr was like, you know what, I'll put Curry back in there. Like, it's good for these teams to play some close game, because then all of a sudden you get into this situational basketball. You know, you're running different things, you're calling timeouts, there's adjustments made. It's good for your coaches, it's good for the players to be out there in a close game. And when both teams go into this game as, hey, it's kind of a dress rehearsal, they are planning on playing all their guys at least 30 minutes. Kerr probably played Curry more than he wanted to tonight. He played 31 and a half minutes tonight. Clay played 31 and a half. Kuminga played just under 30. Wiggins played 31. Fox played just under 32. Sabonis 34. Keegan 36. Barnes 32. And Huerter played 26 in this game. So,
Okay, now.
yeah. A couple of things. We have some other topics I want to hit on tonight too. Just real fast on the Warriors. I've been pretty bullish on Jonathan Kuminga. There's glimpses he shows you where it's like, there's something there. I feel like how he's played in the preseason, if he's able to like bring some of this to the regular season, the Warriors are going to be much scarier.
And I'm curious though too with Jonathan Kuminga if it's because he's playing a lot freer because Draymond isn't on the floor.
Well,
There's
fair.
been a lot of they're not playing all their guys all the time right now in this preseason.
And he has a long leash right now. They're letting him make mistakes.
Absolutely.
And that's how you should approach the preseason. Like, give him the opportunity. And it's not
Agreed.
just the scoring. I just think his shot looks better.
Yep.
He's shooting it with confidence
He's
from the
going
perimeter.
to the basket with confidence.
Yeah.
Looking stronger. I mean, he's long. Yes, I absolutely agree. I like seeing young players grow, and it's fun that he is getting better and better.
I mean, what is he, like 21 right now? Like, yeah, he's 21 years old. Like,
There you
people
go.
wanted to be out on him after last year. I'm like, just can
Time-
you give the guy a few years?
Patience.
But yeah, 6'7", good size, strong. I think he has defensive potential that we've seen flashes of. It's just like, all right, don't make so many mistakes out there. Don't turn the ball over. But, you know, if he's knocking down a shot,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I like him a lot.
Trace Jackson Davis, he was a lot bigger out there on the floor than I thought.
Yeah, I thought he did well out there.
Yeah.
He played physical. He
Held
didn't
his
back
own.
down. I mean, Sabonis is a strong dude.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
absolutely. Let's get to some more comments, Morgan. King Louis says, Huerter is a smart player. Basketball IQ will always be useful, but I think his best role is a rotation player coming off the bench to light it up, the role we wanted Buddy to do. Yeah, and you're right. He is a smart player. And he had some nice defensive moments tonight in his team defense. We know there's going to be some tough matchups, and of course, matching up with Curry is going to be one of those really challenging matchups for him. But yeah, look, Huerter did not have a good playoffs, a 7-game sample size. And of course, that's our last memory of him. He had a pretty good regular season, okay? He had some really nice moments for the Kings. Not a good 7-game stretch. And here in the preseason, he hasn't been knocking down his shots, and now there's more noise about his job. Yeah, if they start bringing him off the bench, I don't think it's a bad thing. Now, it's on him to embrace it. And we say it with any player in the league. Like the greatest example I would use for any NBA player is, have you heard of Manu Ginobili, the Hall of Famer? He came off the bench for 9 seasons in the NBA. He came off the bench and he bought in because
he wanted to win championships, and he understood the system he was in.
But you be all in,
and you can be great in your role in this league if you're willing to go in that direction. And it's fine if you're not too. But I think one of my favorite things about Kevin Huerter, even after that last game when he wasn't starting, that post-game media scrum that he was in, when he was talking about it, you could just tell he wasn't happy about it, and he wasn't trying to hide that, but he also wasn't being dramatic about it.
I also don't want him to be happy.
Right. Anyone that gets, if you want to call it a demotion or just a change, you're going to feel a certain way. And I'm glad that he feels a certain way. And if it lights a little fire under his ass or just helps him go, okay, let me buy into this. Actually, great. We can be great with me here in this position as well.
I do have a question for the chat.
Oh.
And you, Morgan.
Oh.
Could this be the year
prediction time
that we don't see a team in the Western Conference win 50 games? Ponder that for a second. I will want to read this comment too.
Okay. Read the comment.
It seems like poetry in a way.
Okay.
Deuce Mason from Deuce and Mo fame. Sacramento's voice, never sounding the same. Quick with a take, always on the go. Breaking down Kings with smooth podcast flow. Thank you, Russian Cream EJ. That was sweet, huh? Give him a little snaps. Can you snap for him?
Okay, wait.
There's a poem.
You asked the question.
Yeah, okay, because I want you to think first and why.
How am I supposed to think about the question?
Because that poetry was beautiful. It's hard.
No,
it's
and the only reason why you like it is because your ego is so effing big that you love it because it's about you. And no offense, I mean it's fine, but it's about Deuce, so it's not that good.
You son of a gun. Okay, so I looked up some of this. This is just an interesting perspective. The West is going to be obviously really good this year, and that's what makes it so challenging. 2 teams won 50 games last year in the West. 2 teams, right?
Okay.
Denver and Memphis. Sacramento won 48. The last time a team did not win 50 games as the number 1 seed, you have to go back. And I'm talking about an 82-game season, not lockout years, not COVID short years. The last time that happened, according to my research, that could be wrong, it probably is. You have to go back to the 1974-75 season. The NBA had 18 teams. The West had 9 teams at the time. And the team with the fewest wins in that conference was the Lakers. They were 30-52. The most that year in the West, the Warriors with 48. They were the number 1 seed, 48.
Wow.
The last time that happened, the 1974-75 season.
You know what? If you're going to force me to pick a prediction, I mean, yes, out of all the years, it feels like this would be the year to say no, like a team, or like, yes, that could happen. I'm going to go with no, I think there will be teams in the West that win at least 50 games. I mean, especially with not only, I know when we talk about the West being stacked, it's like, yes, so they're going to have to play each other. Things are going to be a little bit more difficult. But I think, too, when they do play Eastern Conference teams, there's still going to be some powerhouses, I guess, in the West.
When you play a West team, if you're the Kings, what's the off night? Houston's not an off night this year. You know, for the Kings. Like
maybe, and like even Portland,
Spurs,
like you're...
exactly. Portland, I'm going, I don't know if I trust their shooting, but Simons get hot.
DeAndre Ayton.
they've got length. Rob
Yeah.
Williams, Jeremy Grant. They could be pesky. Like I don't think they're gonna be good.
Scoot, we know what he's capable of, even as a rookie. Yeah.
San Antonio,
Yeah. I mean, even that. Yeah. No.
Victor nutmegged a player today. I forget who it was.
Are you kidding me?
No,
Like,
no.
That guy, he is so fun.
It's insane,
So
man. It's you go up and down the West. I'm like, I don't know who the worst team is. And look, things are going to happen. Injuries are going to happen throughout, the league. It happens every year. And there's just going to be teams who fall down below people's expectations. And I think the Kings are probably the one team that the opinions on them are all over the place.
Oh yeah, they're all over the place.
I mean, we should play what Michael Wilbon said, but also what John Hollinger said at The Athletic. So John Hollinger at The Athletic did his Western Conference predictions. Hollinger, of course, used to work in the Memphis Grizzlies front office. Before that, worked over at ESPN. Now he's been covering The Athletic, and he did his Western Conference predictions. I always joke. I feel like he has never said anything nice about the Kings, but whatever, his opinion.
Sure.
He predicts that the Kings are going to win 39 games and finish in the 11th spot in the West.
Yeah, that would be bad. That would be bad.
And his whole case is like, hey, injuries, that they won't be that healthy.
I do think it's interesting out of all the teams that they get stuck with the health bug, which absolutely that can happen to any sports team. I get it.
Here's my pushback on that whole health thing. Okay.
Sure.
Like the people go, you can't assume that the Kings are going to be that healthy. I go, fine. I'll grant you that. I don't think the Kings are going to be as healthy as they were last year.
Sure.
That's a completely fair take.
But
you're going to tell me that you're going to count that the Lakers are going to be healthy?
Thank you.
That the Clippers are going to be healthy? That KD and Beal are going to stay healthy? Like
we want them to all be, so then we don't have to say when healthy they're good.
Love that. But that's my point is okay, if you're going to hold it against the Kings for being that healthy, are you going to count on these other teams staying healthy when they have a track record of guys who've just been injured? And I just think the range is crazy in the West. I'm not even sitting here proclaiming the Kings are for sure going to win. I don't think there was a moment, I think early in the preseason when or actually media day, I said, I think they're winning 50 this year.
I'm
revising that.
Good. Cause you were feeling good after media day and stuff.
I just think I think the West is they're going to beat up on each other. And I think the Kings could be like a 6 seed and still be good.
It's just like what Howard Beck said to us. He said, I think the Kings got better as a team, but so did the rest of the Western Conference. And I totally agree with that. And it's like everyone's taking that step. So who's taking that step and staying healthy up there as well, right? And who's taking that step and becoming a better team? Not just oh, hey, we're the Suns and we got Bradley Beal as our third guy. What the shit's that even going to look like?
Yeah.
We don't even know at this moment.
And Gerardo brings up a great point. It's going to be interesting with the new load management rule, right? That's going to prevent teams from resting in that same way.
Yes.
The other thing with Golden State, because someone mentioned, Sean was saying that Dubs tanked last year to play the Kings. The other thing that I keep forgetting when I mentioned the Golden State Warriors, I brought up hey, look, the vibes seem better. Who knows how the Chris Paul fit's going to be, but he's a smart player. He'll fit in. The one guy I keep forgetting to mention, did I just say the Wiggins part or no? Oh, Andrew Wiggins, he missed a huge chunk of the year.
Yeah.
Last year at the start of the season, they did not have GP2. Remember, he was in Portland last year.
Yep.
So there's a lot of things in their favor. And then I'm sorry, Steph Curry. Let's just stop it, guys. Any debate, he's one of the greats to ever play the game. I'm just done. I'm done with even people oh, is he what? I don't know. He just
But his size.
He's disgusting.
Thank you. No matter what, there is no argument. Just stop it right now. And by the way, anytime that we talk about him getting older, he's fine effing wine. He just gets better with age. He keeps bettering his goddamn game. It's not real. It is not, and it's very entertaining, but it's very annoying that he's in the Western Conference.
We have more to get to. I want to play Michael Wilbon and what he had to say about the Kings the other night on ESPN that really surprised me a little bit. Give the Kings a lot of love, but we need to mention that today's podcast, each and every one of our night chats this year, we have a brand new presenting sponsor. It's our friends over at Northwest Exteriors and TrustNorthwest.com.
Oh my God, life-changing. If you're looking at your house right now and you're going, what? I need an upgrade, but I don't even know what it is. Look at your, Deuce, you know the answer?
And to all the kids listening, if your windows suck, go to your parents, hey, our windows are bad. Deuce and Mo said we should go trust Northwest.
And we're going to come knock on your windows, kid, and we're going to just show them how weak they are and show them why you need some new freaking windows.
We're not going to do that. But new windows are a game changer. We got them in our studio here, and it's made a world of difference, obviously with noise. But when you go from having these single pane rattling windows to these energy efficient windows that will not only keep it like the temperature controlled in here, but it'll save you money on your energy bills. How many times has the air conditioner been on in this room since these windows have been put on? The answer is zero. What? Well, it's been hot. We've been into the 90s. Usually I have to crank that up. Otherwise, I'm sweating like crazy in here. In the wintertime, I'm shivering. It's a game changer. And so if you're in the market for new windows, there's no better place than go to the experts at Northwest Exteriors. They got a showroom in Rancho Cordova with people that have all been there like 15, 20 years.
Yes.
They don't have subcontractors. They get it done. They do amazing work. You got to check them out.
Yeah, simply the best, you know?
Trust Northwest.
That happened so quick.
Yeah, I don't know what
I
happened
didn't
there.
didn't get to sing my part.
Here we go. I think I messed it up. I don't know what's happening with it today, but just trust Northwest. Trust
Simply
Northwest.
the best. Trust
also,
Northwest.
one last thing we have to talk about. We have a Patreon. Patreon.com/Deuce and Mo. If you want to support the show in a different way, check it out because we do some exclusive content there. We also have a monthly members-only Q&A. Our next one's taking place Monday, October 23rd for members only, 7 p.m. And if you miss it, you do get to watch it later too on demand. So it's awesome. We appreciate everyone's support. So go check it out.
Last one ended up being just so much fun, like 2 hours of fun. Oh, and also you do get merch discounts as well if you're a Patreon member and you help our small business grow. So thank you so much for your support.
Appreciate you guys so much. All right. Michael Wilbon was on ESPN the other night. I did not find out about this until later, but man, did he have some high praise, Morgan Reagan, for the Sacramento Kings. I'm going to play this. He's on with Malika Andrews. This is halftime. And excuse me, because I'm going to have to do some little tweaking here.
Incredibly high on this Sacramento Kings
Some
team.
things are supposed to stay in the green room. No, I am. I got a crush on the Kings.
Nothing
Malika.
wrong with that. Bleeding purple.
Listen, I think so. The teams, the West is so loaded, and we were talking about this earlier. It looks like there are 12 playoff teams in the West.
Yes.
You can have 8, really 6. So, but what teams care about their seeding? What teams are going to try to go wire to wire and every night out? They're just going to go after it. And there's some teams that aren't. You don't expect Denver to do that, even though they're the champs. You don't expect the Warriors to do that or need to. You don't expect the Lakers to do that. You don't even expect the Suns to do that, even though the Suns may have a bit of an agenda too. The team that I expect to actually feel that way and approach this regular season that way, at least through the All-Star break, are the Sacramento Kings. I do. Remember, they were the 3rd seed last year. What of all those teams I mentioned in the West still has something to prove? They know it, we know it, and the other teams know it. Nobody, we talk about disrespect, no one even mentions the Kings in a packed Western Conference. They'll mention them. I bet you if I go through the schedule right now for this here quality network, I bet you the Kings are last in number of appearances after all those teams I mentioned. We don't take, as a community, the Kings all that seriously, even though I voted De'Aaron Fox first team All-NBA last season. SGA was as deserving, if not more so. I have no complaint. But all those guys, Sabonis has got to prove that he's better than he was late in the playoff series against Golden State.
Sure.
There's lots of stuff for the Sacramento Kings to prove, and I expect to light the beam a lot.
There's something to be said
Regular
about
season, I think they could be 1 seed in the West.
Woo, regular season. He thinks they could be 1 seed in the West. So a question for the chat. All the people watching us live late on a Wednesday night who will be here again on the 2nd, and I have a back-to-back with us tomorrow night. Which is more likely?
Okay.
Michael Wilbon's prediction of they could be the number 1 seed in the West in the regular season, or John Hollinger saying number 11.
You're asking them, not me. I hate because I'm like, oh, how about the in between? I love sitting on the fence.
I think this is an easy one. It's number 1
because you're saying more likely.
Yes, I'm saying
more likely.
To me, I don't see a world where the Kings take that dramatic of a drop to winning 39 games and being the 11th seed. Could I see them in a situation where they win fewer games than last year, like we talked about? Yeah. I do. But I also see a path that, God, if everything goes right, if guys are relatively healthy, maybe not as healthy as last year.
Sure.
Fox is playing defense like we have seen him play, and his offense is still there. Keegan takes a jump, and the depth kind of comes together. Yeah, I would say that's more likely than them being 11th.
And I think it's not only because the basketball we have been covering all year long last year. I think it's the style of basketball that we were watching last year and seeing game by game the leaps that they were taking, whether it was within the offense or even on the road. You saw what they could do defensively compared to their home defensive rating. And then in the playoffs, you saw this spurt of just really good defense, and you go, okay, it's there. Now, how do you continue this consistently? That is difficult for any NBA team, but if there's a team that I feel like can do it, it's a team that Mike Brown is coaching.
In the chat, someone says, I think people underestimate the Nuggets and Michael Malone's drive. They are highly motivated. I think they will get the 1 seed again.
I do too.
I mean, I think that would probably be my prediction, but it's also this, it's just a challenge. How many teams have we heard about winning championships? And sometimes it gets off to a little bit of a rocky start because, you're playing these big games all the time. And it's kind of that boredom of the regular season for some teams.
Sure. I mean, and it can be, but also, again, you're talking about another coach that high expectations standards.
Think about the teams like OKC last year, right?
Yeah.
Chet in the fold this year.
Oh my God. Dude.
I mean, it's
Chet, Wemby,
Jalen Williams.
And I only put Wemby because I'm just thinking of these body types, these unique body types in this Western Conference. And I'm just don't be surprised when these teams, and especially a team like OKC that has one of the fastest players on the floor, plus a unique body like Chet, and then you got
Jalen Williams.
You got Giddey, who can just drop dimes. Dort, who can play defense and is starting to get better and better on the offensive end. Yeah, there's these teams that also believe in continuity and are also going to be taking a leap as well.
Yeah,
it's fun.
The other team that I'm fascinated by, it's the Pelicans. I mean, remember last year they had the number 1 seed for a minute. People forget because of how their season ended.
Oh yeah. It's funny with them. I'm surprised they're on all these lists, people aren't more just so low on them. Because that's how I feel about them right now. Again,
they're the ultimate prove it team.
Yep, and I'm not around them every day. I don't know what the hell their vibe is right now or anything, or who's healthy and who's not.
Right.
And so yes, I'm very much a wait and see when it comes to the Pelicans. So I could be totally surprised by their play, especially as a team, and especially if they can stay healthy.
The other thing that we have to wait on with the West too is what's going to happen with James Harden. So I don't know if you saw the reports today about Harden.
Yeah.
He's obviously skipping practice. Jake Fisher over at Bleacher Report reported that he's in Houston right now. After attending a meeting with the team in New York on Sunday, he's been in Houston the past few days. ESPN also reporting that. The franchise plans to allow Harden the chance to explain his absence before deciding how to handle any punishment. Can you imagine Morey's calling him up? Hey, before we decide anything, can you explain? What do you mean? He doesn't want to be there. Explain it. It's because he doesn't trust you. He doesn't want to be there. Harden said Friday that he would make his preseason debut this Friday for the Sixers. He has not played in the preseason. Neither has Joel Embiid. He said, quote, I'll ramp it up and try to play the last one. I'll try to play the last one just to get myself in a game situation, get used to the physicality of defenders bumping you and whatnot, the speed, the tempo, all that's good stuff. So I think we've got a good plan in place.
It's such an elitist, weird mentality. And like, I'm not putting all the shit on James Harden because this is not all James Harden. The only thing that sucks about with all of this with James Harden is that this has happened multiple times.
Yeah.
Like when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Although Daryl Morey isn't always going to be showing who he is all in front of, on a floor all the time. And he's also a dick.
Yeah. So the latest too on the trade front is that the Clippers and the Sixers have talked again, but the Clippers refuse to give up Terrence Mann in the deal. And that's like everything's hinging on that at this point in time. Which I'm just like, dude, More, you don't have leverage here. There's no other team. Is there a mystery team out there? Maybe there is. Well, is there a mystery team that wants to trade for James Harden right now? It's the Clippers. And the Clippers are playing this out going, we'll wait. Because they know that the Sixers can't just go a season without doing anything with this. It's a train wreck. And I can't believe that we are approaching the season. And it's a week before the season starts. Less than a week. And here's what we have.
James Harden has enough money to have I'm sure he does have a PR team. Why wouldn't they tell him don't talk to anyone? Don't talk to ESPN. Just don't because even that just it's not cute. It's not cute hearing I mean I'm an NBA player getting paid millions of dollars, but I'll try to do my job on Friday.
That was to the media the other day.
Okay, it was
to the media.
It was to all the media.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw Ramona Shelburne's name, so I was like, why? Just don't talk. Just don't talk then. If you're not going to be doing it, I just say just don't talk, because when I hear these comments, they're very annoying.
Before we go, we should hit some more comments, Morgan Reagan. Sergio says thoughts on Colby Jones. Sergio, you probably joined us late. We did talk about Colby earlier, but Morgan, what's not to like about his game? He just feels like he can play a role on this team if given the opportunity. Yeah, and I don't think with anyone. I think even with Sasha Vezenkov, it's don't ever have too many high expectations until you actually see it out there on the floor. And I think with Colby Jones, it's the same thing. We're seeing these short spurts, and you can be excited about that, but also still understand in some of these other moments, he's going to be a rookie. He's going to have those moments as well. But overall, I'm just excited for this type of player on this squad. Yeah, I think it may be tough for him to crack the rotation maybe early, but I think he's making a good case with how he's played the last couple of games. I think Mike Brown really likes what he's bringing to the table right now. And I think one way to win Mike Brown over is go out there, play physical, get into your guys, bump them a little bit, play with force, and you might get an opportunity. Mike Brown's love language. Another Sergio. We have multiple Sergios here. Hey. Wilbon has always been behind the Kings. He knows what's up. It was cool to hear him give some love. To be honest. Would we be shitting on him if he said the opposite? If he said I'm kidding. The 11 seed? Because he said Wilbon's always been on the Kings. No, I'm kidding. I'm scrolling through to see if we missed anything else. Yeah, and also I need to see what Mark Spears has been saying about the Kings. I'm sure he's said a few things. I'm curious what his thoughts are after last year. How do you think Mike Brown handles the final preseason game with the Stars playing so many minutes tonight? That'll be something to watch in the second night of a back-to-back. But a couple of people, Huerter says, I hope Sasha gets extended run tomorrow. Alex says Sasha needs to relax, maybe too fast, but I don't see much calmness right now. You kind of brought that up too, Morgan. Yeah, overthinking it is the vibe I'm getting from him. Whether it's should I take a screen? Should I be here? Should I shoot the ball? Should I not shoot the ball? Where should I be on offense? Hey, I understand this is a whole different pace of game than you're playing. A whole new game. That's all I have. That's really good. How would you go off that? Running fast and shooting a lot. No one to tell him no or where to go, because you should already know in the NBA. You're so good at this. No, I'm not. It doesn't Morgan. I didn't say like you just wrote an epic thing, but I just threw something at you off a shitty little line I had. I don't know why that even came up, and you just took off with it. That was good. Wasn't that pretty good, guys?
I should take this moment in. Whenever Deuce is being nice to me, you're right. That was good.
I thought that was pretty good.
Thanks, Deuce.
Man.
Low standards for Deuce.
All right, some more comments. Jamar, Sasha went 0 for 5 tonight, only scored 2 on Sunday. Do you think he's still figuring out or just a bad early start? I'd say both.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I think like what Morgan just said, I think the adjustment's been more than I thought it would be from a defensive standpoint. I thought his best run was that Lakers game where he started? Yeah, he started with that group, and offensively it looked good. He had some that was where he looked like most at ease, and I'm sure it's a little easier to be playing off those guys, right? With
less
the talent,
pressure, more attention on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, again, it's being patient with it. And because I do believe he is a high IQ player, that he is going to catch on. At 28 years old, for some, that ends up being their prime of their careers. For Steph Curry, he's going to have his prime all the way through, like, until he's 40 years old, right? Like, it just depends on who you are, what type of mindset you have. And I think Sasha Vezenkov has the right mindset to just get better and better.
Next question from the chat. Adam asked, where do you view Davion fitting in with this lineup? It seems like things have been quiet regarding him lately. Yeah, Davion had a good night tonight, knocking down his shot, shooting it with confidence, attacking. He ends up finishing in this preseason game 5 of 7, including 4 of 6 from downtown, 14 points. In fact, he had 11 straight points at one point in the second quarter, which was great to see for Davion Mitchell. His role, I mean, I think there's so much. He's talked about it. He was on our podcast talking about working on his shot with Steph Curry's coach. And it's not just like a fundamental thing. It's how he breathes when he shoots too. And he feels really good about the work he's put in, but he's got to do it on the floor. And I think everyone knows what he can do defensively. But I think also, like, would it surprise you if at some point, like games where they go, yeah, we're actually going to go Colby here because he's 6'5" and just taller and plays decent defense and can knock down a 3. Like my point is, like, for Davion this year, it's crucial not to, obviously making shots is big. Yeah. Knock down your open shots. You're going to get some open looks, but I'm more watching how is he running the team. I felt like he's done a much better job running the offense to start the preseason, pushing the pace, making quicker decisions. And that's what Mike Brown's going to look for from him. We know what he's going to do defensively.
The teams, like, throughout the years that have that identified scrappy defender, you always remember them, right? Like, it's a fun role to be in, but there's limited minutes in that role, depending on what your roster looks like too, right? Unless you're just needed to be out there all the time, whatever. With this roster, it's going to be limited. And so he needs to not only be elite when it comes to being that scrappy defender, especially with his size, how he's going to make sure to be stronger than some of these bigger players. But offensively, you're exactly right. Like, how can you be efficient with the minutes you are on the floor? Even if it's not you making all the shots in the world, but you can't be missing all the shots in the world, and you got to make sure that you're also helping create something else on the offensive end.
Ed says it's preseason. Who cares? What I want to see is their chemistry, the development of players in their system. I want to see progress. That's all that matters.
Aww.
That's the perspective. Yes.
Love it.
Yes. Wins don't really matter. You know, in a game like tonight, you kind of wish like you close out a game like this, but you go, all right, good. We have some stuff on tape to look at. Like, these are the things we did well. You much rather learn some of these lessons with this group in the preseason early on than later, right? And, you know, it's really about just starting to get in shape too. Like, they've been working their asses off in training camp. Now it's like, all right, now we're playing real games against other competition. It's about, hey, have we learned anything? There was one play tonight that even the Warriors broadcasters, when they were actually calling the game, they didn't do much of that tonight. But there was one where Fox blew up one of their plays.
Yeah.
What?
Nothing.
Morgan, can I just say one thing? And I would say this to them. I would say this to anyone. Okay. I know it's preseason. A lot of people are excited that this game was on NBA TV.
Agreed.
They spent the majority of the second quarter.
No, the whole second quarter. I think.
Okay, I think it was the whole second quarter with the president of the team
Talking about the land of the San Francisco, and I was like,
I did nothing about zero about the game. Zero.
I needed to hear.
I know it's preseason.
No,
I'm not saying take it serious, but I mean, we're just doing I mean, can we? There is a game going on. Like, does he have to be on the whole time?
That's all. And I don't know if that was a producer problem, if that was something else, whatever. I wanted more basketball.
Yes,
But
that's how I look at it.
I get it.
But, yeah. It was just a lot.
Yeah, in that moment, yeah.
And Jess said exactly right, Jess. There was no talk when Davion went off. And look,
yeah.
Now I will say this: Bob Fitzgerald gave Fox a lot of love early in the game.
Yeah.
You know, they were giving the Kings a lot of love, which was cool. But yeah, there's stretches where I'm like, oh, call the game. But they did point out that Fox blew up one of the plays. It's like, he knew it was coming, and which was cool to see.
Yeah. No, that part was fun.
So here's the good news.
What's the good news?
We are going to be back live tomorrow.
Yeah.
And for all the people who are joining us for the first time this year, I always forget there's new people. Make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe. And no, we're going to be on after every single Kings game this year. We post the audio too, so you can listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. For all those people who do it that way too, like make sure you give us a review on
please.
Apple Podcast Store and Spotify. It just helps us grow. We're going to be busting out a ton of content, film breakdowns, reactions to news that breaks, interviews with players, coaches, journalists, and then, of course, being live after every game, talking with you guys. We'll get all the technical gremlins figured out, too, so we can take calls again and have all that fun stuff.
And just know, whenever we do ever talk about, like, Patreon or being a member, like, obviously, supporting us in any way is always giving a like, is watching us, consuming our content. It's not just financially. It's leaving reviews. It's all those things. So thank you, everyone, for supporting this small business.
We appreciate it. And the question of the night is, how did we get a preseason back-to-back?
Oh, who cares? We'll see all your asses tomorrow.
I don't know. We love you guys, though, but we gots to go.
You all have a wonderful rest of your night. See ya.